Download the BCSN Plus app today. Local sports all the time. Visit bcsnnation.com for details. Discounts may apply.
We have another team in our area prepping for a state Final Four game. Before heading out to Canton, I sat down with Perrysburg head coach Dave Hall to talk Final Four, the depth of the Yellowjackets, and much more. It's your fourth trip to the Final Four. First time going back-to-back in program history. What is different about this year?
It's a surprise. It's nice to have kids go back that know they've played there before. I think that's going to be a big key. Usually there's always nerves when they step out on a field for a state championship or a state semifinal. And, you know, we've got 4 kids that are playing that have experienced that. A few guys that sat on the bench last year, they're starting, and then the group of juniors that came up that hadn't experienced it. But you know, we talk about tradition, we talk about experience. I think it's going to help us a little bit. Last year, my coaches were so excited because they had never experienced it, and some of them coached a lot of years in a lot of sports. Just to see them and the kids get excited is what keeps me happy.
And it's hard not to be excited considering the season you've had to this point. On 3 different occasions, you guys had a win streak of 6 games or more. But what stretch can you point to and say, that is when we became a team capable of winning the state title?
I think it was after the Clay loss. We had a week where we lost 18-0 in 2 games to AW. We lost to Clay 7-2, and then we played Lakota West, who's in the state Final Four, 10-9. I don't ever remember an 0-4 week in my coaching career. I know these kids have never gone 0-4 in their lives. And we came back out and we had scheduled what I considered a great backloaded schedule. I mean, I thought we could get to the regionals all the time. I knew we were going to have to be the St. Ed's team or, you know, some really good teams. I mean, I just think the back end of our schedule was built to get ready for tournament.
But after that 0-4 stretch, you called it unfamiliar territory for everybody. What were the conversations like in the dugout?
We just talked about rationally about, you're better than this. You've worked too hard for this. We've worked too much in the winter. We've worked too much in the fall. You guys know what to do. We just gotta do it.
It's so difficult to point out one guy on this team. Most teams you could point out maybe 1 or 2 guys that like led them there. But for your team, it seems like it's really a committee approach. How much has that helped you this year, not having to lean on one guy per se?
I think it's helped a lot because the 2 guys we do have, Mefford and Heitmeyer, you know, they've been streaky at times and one's had to pick the other up, and we've had some times where both have been struggling a little bit and other kids have stepped up, and you know, everybody's bought into the roles. I'm always for the 40-some years I've coached, it's always about roles. I always like carrying 16, 17 players. Other coaches and parents sometimes go, why do you carry so many? Because I'm going to ask your son to do something. I firmly believe all 17 kids, I could pick out a game where they won it for us.
Division I is the only division without a top 10 team from the coaches poll in the Final Four. How much does that help your chances going into the state Final Four?
I think it helps a lot because I think if you look, a lot of the big arms are gone. You know, the Moeller pitchers are gone, the Mason pitchers are gone. I look at Springboro, our opponent, they have pitchers similar to us. They're going to be 82, 84, good breaking balls, pitch backwards, but that's not 88, 89. That's not 90. So I think there'll be competitive games, which makes it a little bit more fun, I think, for everybody. You know, that you got the kid out there that's throwing 92, 93, high school kids struggle with that. So it's a matter of who's going to put the ball in play and makes the fewest mistakes.
But to put it simply, what will it take for you guys to come back to Perrysburg with the state title?
I think we just have to keep what we're doing, is getting timely hits, pitchers making great location on their pitches, and playing air-free baseball. I mean, it's pretty simple, and we got to be a little bit lucky at this stage. You got to get the break, you got to get the ball that's landed fair by that far, and you got to have their ball go that far foul. And sometimes it takes an umpire's call, good or bad. Everybody's good at this stage. It's just the intangibles that come through. And I think our kids believe that no matter what, whether we win or lose, I'm proud of them.
Tournament Time on BCSN is brought to you by Med1 Care Therapy Partners, #1 in quality service and quality care.